Kennedy Carter is back in the eyes of the WNBA news again. And just like the last time, not for the right reasons, once again. She tried her intimidating tactics, which include rough play on her opponents to gain competitive leverage, and maybe even strike fear in the opposing players.
Defense, she's not taking the bait from Angel. That's gonna hit.
She got beat on defense, and I know in these situations sometimes that you can hit the opponent by accident when going for the block. But this does not look like an accident at all. She just shows that sometimes she is doing whatever is needed to stop the player that she's guarding to get a bucket and does not mind getting her hands dirty whatsoever. If you wonder why I'm telling you this, it's because a couple of weeks before this incident took place, this happened too.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
She hit the fan favorite, Fever rookie Caitlin Clark, in an absolutely unnecessary fashion. There was no need for it whatsoever. The ball already fell through the net, and the ball was not inbounded yet. This play sparked a big outrage in the WNBA world. What is the need to do that against a player that never plays dirty, always keeps her hands to herself, and is just trying to enjoy the game and help her team win? I guess it's maybe jealousy because of the attention that Clark receives. So if you want to get in the spotlight, the easiest way to do it is to pick a fight with her. What was most surprising though is that Angel Reese clapped on the bench for the unnecessary roughness by her teammate. I guess they really don't like each other as competitors at all. What's certain is that the referees need to do a much better job in protecting Clark, as she gets pushed in the back on this play by Reese also, yet the referees did not call anything on it once again. Nonetheless, Clark took a lot of beatings, but she showed that she is mentally strong and the roughness of the other team won't cloud her judgment and distract her from what's the ultimate goal, and that is to win the game. Which of course Fever end up winning by 71-70. Now we need to look at where this all stems from. Clark and Kennedy come from two different backgrounds. The cultural difference is also there. Clark comes from Iowa and Kennedy comes from Texas. They both played for their home state colleges. Clark played for Iowa and Kennedy played for Texas A&M. But maybe the biggest difference between these two players is that Clark had all eyes on her from the get-go. And Carter, even though also well known, had to go at Clark to make her name more known. Clark is the one that is attacked, and for a big reason too. She is the #1 pick in the draft and maybe one of the most hyper players to come into the WNBA in the last 2 decades. The attention that Clark brought to this league is immeasurable, and it's just sort of natural for any player to want to go at her and show the world that she can play too. That is not to be taken for bad, but it's just the competitive side of sports and just what the basketball world is like. We already mentioned how Clark is one of the most touted prospects in the WNBA too, but Carter was not just some nobody. Although they did not play each other in college, we must say that Carter had a very respectable career to her own right at Texas A&M. She played there for 3 years and actually put up some amazing numbers while there. She averaged 22 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds in her career there. She got drafted #4 by the Atlanta Dream, but unlike Clark, her spot in the WNBA was not guaranteed, as she also had to grind overseas and prove her worth there too. So she could finally get back in the WNBA with 2 years of abstinence. She played mostly in Turkey, having also had stints in China and Poland. A great curiosity is that while playing in China, she was also involved in a scuffle where the police had to intervene. Although it is very important to say that, she did not cause this incident, but she was just sticking up for her teammate who was actually the perpetrator. She did not get punished, and rightfully so. Clark, on the other hand, is by most analytics projected to be the future of the league, and they even go as far as saying that she might even end up being the best player that's ever played in the future of WNBA. And that is rightly so, because she had one of the most iconic and legendary collegiate careers ever. This is just some of the records that she holds. NCAA Division I all-time scoring leader, NCAA Women's all-time scoring leader, NCAA Women's three-point attempts leader, NCAA Women's offensive plus-minus leader, NCAA Women's points produced leader, NCAA Women's points produced per game leader, Iowa's all-time leading scorer, Big Ten all-time assists leader, Iowa's all-time assist leader, most three-pointers in a single season, male or female, first player in Women's Division I history to score at least 1,000 points in 2 different seasons, first player in men's or women's NCAA tournament history to record a 30 or 40-point triple-double, 2022-2023, first player in NCAA tournament history with consecutive 40-point games, first Division I player to record at least 900 points and 300 assists in a single season. I guess that's not too bad at all. So when you go against a player with these accolades, it's only natural to have some form of animosity and to prove that you are a better player. However, we would soon see what would happen in the game and why probably Carter should not have pushed Clark, as it made her even more focused, as we would see in the next game that they played. Even though 2 weeks had passed, Clark did not forget about Reese and Carter roughing her up. And they would pay for it, not with fighting, but with losing the game. It would not take much. In fact, Clark made her presence known right from the get-go, scoring the first bucket for the Sky of the night. It comes from a pick and roll, in which the other guard Mitchell would set a brush screen and pop out to the three-point line quickly. And that's all the time in the world for Clark as she uses the slight confusion of the defense and goes to the paint for a floater off the glass. The next bucket that she scores sets the tone for the rest of the game and what's written in the future for the Chicago Sky in this game. She has the ball in the middle of the court and her teammate, Boston, sets a screen for her just below the logo. If you are the guard that's defending Clark on the screen and roll, then it's a law that you never go under, no matter how high the screen is. However, the big gotta step up too, so Clark does not get an easy look. But the defending big in this situation seemed like she did not get the memo at all. She was in a deep drop, and not just that, she was on the opposing side at which Clark went. So when the guard got hit with a screen, she was completely out of the picture. That's just not the way that you guard Clark and Boston pick and roll. And Clark shows why, swishing a deep three, pulling it from a few steps behind the three-point line. And to make the damage even bigger, she follows the great offense with an even better defense on the other end. She is guarding Allen one-on-one and follows her with her feet perfectly. Even after a few nice changes of direction by Allen, she is unable to get past Clark. And when she finally drives to the rim, Clark manages to get a hand on the ball and strip her, with the ball going out of bounds off Allen. Clark is locked in on both ends of the floor tonight. And to follow that up, she uses yet another hesitation to go to the hole again and start the game 3-3 with 7 quick points in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. Carter was not quiet though, as she got herself going with 2 buckets. The first one a nice backdoor give and go with a behind the back stop on the dime jumper and a nice isolation bucket, crossing her defender over and going for a floater inside the paint for 2 points, showing that she is going to go at the Fever every chance that she gets. However, she would commit 3 fouls, making her have to sit out some minutes in the first half. And Clark would keep going, scoring a nice layup, being patient in the paint, and looking for solutions while driving and finding the best one, scoring by herself under the basket. The Fever would end up winning the half and going into the second half with a 4-point lead. However, in the second half, Carter would come out swinging. Not literally, but scoring a couple of nice baskets for the Sky, including this nice runner, where Clark is guarding her, but she went under on the screen, so Carter had a running start and a little advantage to get to her spot for her signature runner. And then attacking in transition and finishing with an overhand layup, giving Chicago the lead by 1, 52-51. She even blew by Mitchell, one of the best defenders on the Fever, for a nice inside hand scoop layup. It was obvious that she was determined to make a name for herself in this game too. However, Clark shot that down, first making a step-back three-pointer and layup, and then doing what she does best, which is facilitating for her team and getting her teammates involved in the game. It's a close game, but Fever have a 2-point advantage going into the last quarter of this game. And even though the Sky and Carter made a huge effort, now she probably regrets her decision of pushing Clark with no reason in the game before this, because Clark is the best when it's needed the most, and showing once again why there is so much hype and attention to her name. She comes up clutch yet again, always patient, always poised, and always looking to make the right play for her team to win. With 3 minutes to go, she turns the corner after receiving a handoff and knocks down maybe the biggest shot of the game. A shot which shows her high confidence in these high-pressure situations. She also throws this nice pass to Boston, showing that she trusts her teammates to finish the job, as Boston would score with 1 minute left on the game clock, putting the Fever up by 5. The Sky would not be able to bounce back from this lead, as they would end up losing the game 83-91. This is the second consecutive game that the Sky would lose to the Fever, and the sweetest one yet. The biggest factor in this game was definitely Clark, who scored a game-high 23 points, while also adding 9 dimes, 8 boards, and 2 blocks, becoming the only rookie ever to put up a stat line like this in the history of the WNBA. Despite everything, it is worth it to mention that Carter held her own too, but it's a shame that because of the push in the last game, she overshadowed herself and drew attention in the negative way, not the positive. However, she showed that not only Angel Reese is a real baller on her team, but also she can put up some nice numbers, and if both of these teams stay together, the Fever trio of Clark, Boston, and Mitchell, and the Sky trio of Reese, Cardozo, and Carter, this may be the beginning of a rivalry that will be for years to come, furthering the existing rivalry that Clark and Reese have, stemming from their college days. However, time will show if that is going to happen, but for now we have this great start and are hoping that it will continue like this. Alright, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the episode if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.